everybody. We got all 4 people here today. Yay!
Full squad.
Welcome into the PHNX Suns podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Saul. That's Gerald. That's Espo.
I refuse to be spoken to as anything other than Rizz Bates-Diop from now on. So.
Noel. I refuse to say that name, so I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, apparently we got to shift the camera over.
Oh, no.
Bye.
We lost Rizz Bates-Diop.
Why did you oblige him in that way, Gerald?
Thank you, Gerald.
What was the point of that,
I wanted
Gerald?
him to sit down.
Do you know what the Rizz is?
I got Rizz.
Okay. Right.
We already went over this.
All right,
Don't.
I'm just making
We
sure.
literally went over this. I
Not
feel
again.
like
Was I here when we went over it?
I don't know.
there's a
I don't think you were.
possibility you weren't, but you were here when Rizz Bates-Diop came a thing, right?
Look, I got more Rizz than Shams. I mean, come on.
His face.
Shams is he's a tiny little pretty boy.
He's not known
Come
as
on, he's got game.
Rich
bro.
Sharania.
No, he's got game.
Yeah, he does.
He's got
kidding.
game.
You see what you see him on the Kay Adams show? I mean, come
Yo,
on.
he also drops buckets, by the way.
My favorite Shams
Yeah,
thing was
go look it up.
back in the day when he would tweet out every single day something about lunch.
Yep.
Lunch,
How excited he was for
lunchtime smiley face.
There you go.
It's lunchtime smiley face.
Like it's the most random thing, but now that he has like a bajillion followers and like
Yes.
breaks news, the fact that those just pop up every once in a while on your timeline,
Good on him.
it's really funny.
By the way, Gerald's my new hype man. I don't need you to, so I'll only be
I
addressing
mean, I
Gerald
don't
from
recall
now on.
applying for the job in the first place.
I set the
but
bar
okay.
so low on that.
You acknowledge
Lindsay and I are finally in unison on this. We don't care.
Yeah, I
Go
mean,
ahead.
Listen, as I told you yesterday, you would be on my top 8. Don't let it go to your head because I will remove you instantly. Okay,
All right.
I don't mess around.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, today we are going to take a deeper look into Keita Bates-Diop, one of the newcomers to the Phoenix Suns. In our continued deep dive series, of course, there is an in-depth article by Gerald Bourget over at gophnx.com. But for now, we'll take a peek at Keita, and then we'll be joined by a guest as well. Shane, you want to put up the graphic that kind of gives just a brief overview of what he brings to the team? Obviously, he's 27. He is 6'8". He's got that 7'3" wingspan, which we have talked a lot about. Defense, I think, is the one that we're all pretty excited about. And then offensively, maybe there's still a few question marks. How are you guys feeling just about what you're excited to see from KBD and what you're maybe still have some questions around?
Look,
Go ahead. That's fine.
well, Gerald gave me the head nod. I thought my hype man would say, go ahead.
So I was like,
Rock,
yeah,
paper,
but like I want to speak first. But go
You-
ahead.
So you go ahead.
Saul's like, I haven't been here in like
It's been a
5
minute.
days.
It's been a while. Hey,
The
I
Bates
think
delay.
first of all, his outside shot improved last year at a pretty decent clip, especially if you're going to be that 5th guy, potentially the 5th starter. Defensively is where I'm very much more excited about. But I will say there's a few things that he can even tweak defensively that he's a little improvement. I think sometimes he gets a little sloppy technique-wise, slows down a little bit, gets beaten at the point. But his length makes up for it. And he's not the most explosive athletic guy in the world, but he could definitely hold his own. And I think he's just going to be one of those guys that if he finds the right groove with this team, he is going to be such a valuable piece. And I think if you're going to get excited about KBD, I wouldn't say be excited at the beginning of the season because I think his value will come at the end of the season by a mile.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm excited about Keita in Frank Vogel's defensive system. What can he get out of him? How can he do it? What does his defense look like there? My biggest concern, though, is offensively. Yes, he took that big jump last year, but that's not what the track record suggests. And Gerald does a great job in his article today breaking down how well he shoots wide open, and then with a guy closer to him, and then with a guy in his hand in his face. And it ain't pretty as the defender gets closer from last year's numbers. So.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like pretty much every player in the NBA shoots a worse percentage when they're more contested versus wide open.
Analytics.
But like the drop off between wide open versus just open is pretty steep. He's a guy that doesn't shoot a ton of threes if they are contested, which is good news for the Suns because he's probably going to get a lot of wide open looks if he's sharing the court with 2 or 3 of those superstars as the Suns have. I was excited for just watching what he can do in terms of his finishing ability. He shot, I think it was like close to 68% at the rim last season. And if you go through the film, and there are a couple of clips in the article, he's really good at finishing around the rim because he has all that length. He has really good footwork when he gets into the paint. And then obviously the defensive versatility is going to be really key. So my big question, obviously, aside from the 3-point shooting and whether that can hold, because this was the first time in his career that he shot better than 33%, and it came on only 2 attempts per game, is can he defend at the point of attack? And I think that's going to be the difference between whether he's the starter on opening night or whether maybe we see him phased in and out of the rotation come playoff time.
He loves that spin move.
He does.
He loves him some spin moves.
He does.
I mean, he did get a good recommendation, I suppose you could say, from his former teammate, Doug McDermott, which you did have an interview with him. It's also linked within that article at Go PHNX, but he said, just a versatile player. He can play a lot of different positions. He can guard a lot of different positions. So the versatility is a plus. Mm-hmm. It's just, to your point, that point of attack defense that is still maybe a little bit of a question mark. But I feel like with Frank Vogel, like you guys have all mentioned it, that growth could very well be what we see from him this year in a new system on a team that is actually playing for something, surrounded by guys who will challenge him to be better as well. I know that's kind of one of those talking points that we've all discussed, like, and every one of these players that we've talked to in the offseason has brought it up too, like being around these guys will bring more out of me, and being around these guys will make me want to work harder, and yada, yada, yada. But it's true.
Yeah, he does have a skill set that should shine a little bit more surrounded by better talent. I think he's a guy that kind of flew under the radar and was easier to not really pay attention to because he was playing for a 22-win Spurs team. But a lot of his cutting, his defense, and hopefully that 3-ball will be really well suited for this particular Suns team.
Yes. All right, guys, it is time to welcome in our guest. Joining us today on the PHNX Suns podcast is Tom Petrini, Spurs and digital content for KENS 5. Friend of the program. We love any time that you stop in, Tom, to chat with us. So thank you for joining us. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? You hear me okay?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We're just trying to make sure we stay inside out of the crazy heat that is Phoenix, Arizona right now.
I was gonna say, man, it's brutal out here, but I feel like I can't complain to you guys, so I'll just stay quiet with my 103 or whatever it is.
It's all right. Our lakes are just boiling. It's nothing too big. So.
No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal. So
I
Tom,
got out
today
of the car in Phoenix one time, and I swear the bottom of my shoes started melting to the pavement.
I promise you they didn't, because I actually looked it up. It's 345 degrees for your soles to start to melt.
No, that's your soul, Saul. Totally different.
Yeah. So I looked it up because I always wondered, like, driving on the highway, how come car tires don't melt? So I looked it up, and there it is.
the most random shenanigans, I swear. Tom, we are talking about Keita Bates-Diop today on the show. So we want to kind of get your opinion on him, your thoughts and insight. Just generally, what can you share with us about KBD that stands out to you?
So when I saw the news that he was heading to Phoenix, I said, that's perfect for him, and it's perfect for the Suns. And that was my immediate reaction, because you look at this Sun team and you're like, all right, what do they need? They've got Book and KD and Beal and Ayton. Obviously, they need veteran depth that's versatile and playable and cheap. And KBD really fits all of those things. He was a guy who, initially when he came to San Antonio, I wasn't sure how long he was going to stick, because it was a situation where, like, they've got 16 guys on the roster heading into training camp, and who are they going to cut? And he was the guy who looked most likely that he was going to be cut. But basically, he made the roster on grit and determination and making the right play and hustle and playing his role. And, anytime there was an injury in the starting lineup the last 2 years, it felt like, they just slapped Keita Bates-Diop on there, and it fit, because he can play along with basically any group of 4 other guys, and it works. One thing that I love about his game, and another reason I think he's going to be a great fit in Phoenix is he doesn't need the ball. He does so many other things, and you've got plenty of guys who need the ball over there. I actually looked it up before I came on. I wanted to see what his like just for laughs, how many times he isolated last year. And NBA's player tracking stats, it doesn't let you say, oh, I want to see the stats for this specific guy. So you have to like look. But I was like, I know how I'm going to find this. I went into play type, I hit isolation, and it organizes by like, it starts with the people who did it the most. And I just hit the button that flips that. So it showed me the people who isolated least. And sure enough, he was in the top 4 of the least ISOs per game last year.
Damn.
With like 0.1 per game. But like that sort of, and that was on a Spurs team that, I'm not going to say they were bad last year.
But they weren't good.
They weren't good. They were very young. And, I'm sure if he wanted to go out there and, dance a little bit and do his thing, but that's not his thing. And he knows that. He knows his role, and he's totally comfortable in that role. And so that's why I think he's going to be a great fit in Phoenix, because he's just going to do all the little things on the offensive end, set good screens, roll, cut, and make himself available in dirty areas. Like I don't know that I've ever seen him take a bad shot where it's like, man, what's he doing shooting that? Like everything he does is in the flow of the offense, and anybody who's going to be playing in Phoenix is going to need to get it that way when you've got those 3-4 other guys.
You talked about just him being a hustler to stay on this squad. What's the single biggest jump do you think that he's made over the last year or so in terms of like one specific area? What is it, shooting? Is it defensively? Man to man or help defense, or like what is that one specific thing that you looked at towards the end of the season? You're like, man, he's come such a long way in this particular area.
I think this might be like a bit of a cop-out answer, but it's his consistency in putting the whole thing together. Like it's not like there's one thing where I was like, oh wow, he's gotten so much better at shooting the ball. It's more that his effort, his intensity, not necessarily his production, because there are games where he wouldn't touch the ball. He would be, in the corner just doing all that dirty work and never get rewarded on a back cut or whatever. But, by the end of the year, I looked at him as like a rock in that lineup where, if nothing else is going to go right that game, that Keita Bates-Diop is going to do his job. And I mean, his efficiency throughout his time in San Antonio, I think definitely improved. I think his defensive versatility is why he'll get minutes in Phoenix. And like I said before, just his ability to plug in on offense, never touch the ball, and still have a positive effect on the court. My respect for him grew a ton, just because, like I said, super reliable. Like if there was any sort of injury, you could rest assured pretty much, unless it was like point guard or center, anything 2 through 4, it was like, yeah, that's probably going to be Keita. People started using the meme from like the Flex Tape commercial where he slaps the tape on the side of the thing with the hole in it. It's like that was Pop slapping Keita Bates-Diop on any hole in the lineup, and it was cool. And yeah, I mean, like I challenge you guys later, think about it. Like try to put together a lineup of Phoenix players with Keita Bates-Diop on it that doesn't work. You can really throw him in there with anybody.
Challenge accepted.
He grew into a leader. He became like a veteran on this team, which when everybody is too young to rent a car, I guess age-wise it's not that hard to just be the old guy by default. But I think he was probably one of the most consistent players this year for the Spurs. So yeah, that's what impressed me most.
Tom, to your point about his defensive versatility, I ran into Doug McDermott at Summer League, and he used that same buzzword. It's one that keeps coming up pretty frequently to describe KBD. But for here in Phoenix, obviously you got Beal and Booker in that backcourt, and we're kind of looking around like, okay, who's going to guard like the Ja Morants and the Steph Currys, the ball handlers, the floor generals of the world? Because you probably don't want Booker or Beal worrying about that. Do you feel like KBD is a guy that could take on those assignments, or is he maybe better suited for like 2 through 4 as far as his defensive versatility?
I think, I mean, 2 through 4 is definitely his wheelhouse, but he has the length and strength to guard big men when he gets those switches, and he has the foot speed and active hands to survive on switches against some of the more elite guards. I don't think I would, task him out of the gate. Okay, Keita, you're guarding Steph.
Mm-hmm.
But, if they run a 1-4 pick and roll and, he winds up on an island, it's not the kind of thing where I see that and go, oh no. Like he's going to hold his own on the perimeter and down low. I see him as that, that wing defender that can do a little bit of everything and really, impactful guarding on ball 2 through 4, but also, as that roving, free safety kind of jumping passing lanes, help side defense, does a lot of things that, especially with, as many offensive focused players as the Suns have, I think he's going to play some significant minutes, and I think he's going to. I mean, when the news came out, I think it was Woj was like, yeah, he has a chance to be a starter here, and it's really funny to me because he's going from this team that was in the middle of a rebuild to a team that is all in right now on trying to win a championship as soon as possible, and his role is going to be functionally the same. It's just instead of like Trey Jones and Keldon Johnson, who I love and appreciate, is going to be like Booker and KD and Ayton, and Beal. Like, I think that, and when those guys are drawing all of that attention, there are going to be openings for him to make an impact. I mean, there was a game, it was the last game that the Staples Center was called the Staples Center. And Keita put up, I think it was 30 or 31 on 11 of 11 shooting.
Yep.
And it was one of those like Klay Thompson type beats, like dribbled it maybe twice kind of deals. Like it was everything just in the flow of the offense. I don't think he's going to have one of those nights playing for Phoenix, but like, he's got skill, he's got talent, and I think one of his biggest talents and biggest skills is knowing his role and exactly how to apply himself in that role.
So we should lower our expectations from perfection to slightly below, is what you're saying. All right.
Perfect for what he is,
The biggest concern for me is last year he had his best 3-point shooting year ever. But can he continue to be a guy that can knock down those shots? I know he only attempted 2 a game, but can he be that guy for the Suns team? Because that was one of the biggest weaknesses, in particular in the playoffs, was guys not hitting wide open threes.
I think, like I said before, he's a guy who takes good shots, and I think he'll get even better shots this year just by virtue of playing with all of those, creators who draw a lot of attention. I think he'll get good opportunities, and I mean, I'm confident that he'll be able to hit shots at a decent enough rate to justify his presence on the floor for all of the other things that he does on both ends. What did he shoot last year? If you were looking at it, I remember it being like decent.
It was a career high 39.4% or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'll be quite at 39%, but I don't think he'll dip much below 35. I think he'll be league average at worst. And again, he's not a guy who you're relying on for like a volume of 3-point shots. It's more, can you stand there and shoot that shot well enough that the defense has to at least think about it and respect you. And when he's not shooting threes, I mean, he's a good catch and attack player. It's mostly 1 or 2 dribbles in a straight line and then either going up for a layup or passing it out. He's one of those guys, when you think of like traditional, like beautiful game Spurs, keeps the ball moving, makes the right play, unselfish guy, which you're going to need playing with all of those really talented players. So yeah, I mean, I think he'll shoot somewhere between 35 and 40% from deep next year, and you know, even when he's not, he's a great cutter. He has a great instinct for when the defense has just completely lost track of him, because he's one of the more forgettable pieces of the offense, right? And especially in Phoenix, like all of these guys are going to have so much attention on and off ball that it's going to be really easy for whoever's guarding Keita Bates-Diop to completely forget about Keita Bates-Diop. And that's when he like is at his best. Yeah.
What's his personality like, or what type of guy is he in the locker room?
So he's very chill. He's humble, stoic, but like friendly, you know, not in like a standoffish way. It's, you know, just, you know, hi, I'm Keita kind of deal. Nice guy. I've enjoyed working with him, getting to know him. And this past year, he actually won an NBA Community Assist Award. And this is something that's sort of top of mind after Bronny suffered a cardiac arrest. When Keita's, this was like 2017, I think, Keita's younger brother suffered a cardiac arrest at a high school basketball practice. And luckily somebody there knew CPR, saved his life. But that sort of ignited a passion in Keita for like, okay, this is a life-saving skill that more people need to know. So he's put on like a lot of workshops to teach people CPR, and was recognized for that this past year. Just a good guy. I mean, this is a former second-round pick, sort of washed out of Minnesota. And like I said before, he's really, and Greg Popovich mentioned this toward the end of last year, this guy has worked really, really hard to carve out an NBA career for him. And yeah, I couldn't have picked a better spot for him personally to land than Phoenix. I think he's going to have a great opportunity. And I think the Suns, like, you know, if the Suns make a really deep run this year, people are going to look at that signing as like a really underrated needle mover for this team.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
Love to hear it.
Absolutely. Tom, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights with us on KBD. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll hit you up again in the near future. We'll have you back on sometime soon.
Absolutely. Yes. Next time if he shoots 12 of 12, call me back.
Deal.
There we go.
We'll even do it if he's not perfect. How about that? So.
Right. Yeah. If he's shooting like 31% from 3, don't call me and yell at me.
All right. We've got a deal. Only perfection. There we go. Thank you again, Tom. We'll talk to you next time. And everyone listening, make sure you give him a follow on Twitter at @RealTomPetrini. All right, gentlemen. Any additional thoughts on KBD that we haven't discussed yet that you feel like are important to dive into?
He's super, he's scintillating, and he's sensational.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay.
It's a little Dick Vitale reference.
Yep, I got you. No, it's kind of nice to hear guests come on and touch on things like, especially in terms of his cutting and off-ball ability. The fact that, you know, he's not a flashy passer, but he will make the right play and move the ball. All things that fit in well. This is the second guest that we've had that's come on and said, I couldn't have picked a better spot for him than Phoenix, because we heard that about Eric Gordon as well. So that's really exciting. Like we talked a lot about guys the Suns could target, and I think we all felt that Eric Gordon and KBD were both maybe a little too optimistic in terms of what they could get for the vet minimum. So it's pretty awesome that they were able to get both of those guys.
I mean, to be fair, are there anybody that this wouldn't be a great place for them to land, since there's freaking 3.5, the big 3.5 here. I mean, most guys landing here, people are like, yeah, that was a pretty good spot for them to land.
Yeah, I'm a little
they got
bit
a
jealous.
championship chance,
Just a smidge. Also, really enjoyed that story, Gerald. You should definitely dive in a little bit deeper about the Community Assist Award and being so passionate about CPR. I took a CPR class. It's intense.
It's just so weird. Sorry.
I don't know why you laugh. I'm only laughing because he's laughing.
I don't know why either one of you were laughing.
I don't either. I don't
No,
get it. I was being genuine. It's not something that you think about until it is presented to you, and then you're like, yeah, I should probably do that. And then you get in the class and you're like, wow, this is way more intense than I thought. I was being genuine.
No, it's just
everybody-
the pause. You said, I took a CPR class, pause, and then got into the point, and I thought you were literally just saying, I took a CPR
I just
class.
had to breathe, Espo. I'm
Listen.
sorry.
Everybody should feel very confident in my life-saving abilities. I've taken 18 different CPR courses.
Wow.
So I am
That's
about
impressive.
10% confident I can do what they taught me.
I was
Okay.
What if it
laughing.
happens to you?
I was laughing because Lindsay
fucked.
almost said a bad word.
I'm just fucking. I'm sorry. What'd you say,
I
Shane?
said I was laughing because Lindsay almost said a bad word.
I mean,
Did she?
She
Maybe.
said that was intense.
it was. It was. Sly gets it though. It's the staying alive beat. That's what you
Yes,
got to remember.
like
There's
The
another
Office.
one a newer song that actually has the same beat, but it's a newer age song,
It's
so
not
the younger kids can know it.
No, it's not that one. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not that one, but there is one. I'll have to
And
look
you're
it up now, 'cause I'm. I'll have to look it up. Anyway,
Oh my
Circle
gosh.
K, the best place to go for gas, snacks, coffee, and beer. We love our friends over at Circle K. The Polar Pops, they stay colder longer. Again, we've told you we're staying inside this summer. You're allowed to take a trip to Circle K, but after that, go back and be inside. They also have Powerade 4 for $5 right now. And when you purchase that, you're also going to be entered to be one of 10 finalists entered to win a 2023 Ford Big Bend Bronco SUV. So take advantage of that. Make sure you're not missing out on all the great stuff that Circle K has to offer. And right now, that promo code again, PHNX, you text it to 31310 to join Circle K's SMS subscriber club. You're going to get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops.
Can I tell a Circle K story?
Yes.
So Paul, who listens to the show, a buddy of mine, let me know this morning that his dad actually, for Circle K, invented the hamburger hot dog for them. And also the reason that there is a Coke Froster there as well.
Then I owe him a lot because the Coke Froster thing is my favorite.
I said I need to shake this man's hand.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. What is happening?
Sorry.
Why?
I'm playing this song in my head and it works.
No, is it? Walk?
I don't know. It might be, but I don't know.
Is the song Walk?
That's not what.
No, it might be. It was a song that popped off on TikTok.
Speak
I'm
of
so
life saving.
serious.
Wow.
It is.
Yes.
No way.
Yes. Listen, whatever works.
Oh my! Oh hey!
Whatever works. Okay?
Could you imagine being
I don't
taught
care
that?
what you're singing.
Oh
if you're
my
saving my
So
life,
if
it
you-
works.
If you get your
Just do it.
CPR certificate, you're certified free 7 days a week.
Hold on. Could you
Oh my
imagine?
God!
Could you imagine?
Quite
that?
literally.
This person is choking, needs CPR. You're like, hey Siri, can you play WAP? Like,
Wow.
Oh my God, Gerald. No.
that was good, man.
I mean,
Oh my God.
how does one become certified in that? Gerald just answered your question.
That's unreal.
Oh
Awesome.
no!
Oh,
Great drop,
no.
Shane.
Oh wow.
I don't know how to transition us out of
There's
that,
no-
so I'm just going to tell you about Saturday Neon.
Speaking
Saturday
of freaky,
Neon.
you want some neon lights in your house?
I mean,
And on a Saturday night, nonetheless.
There you go. We got
I don't like
such a
that.
product for you, baby.
I don't
Two
like
friends.
that.
One light.
I saw that YouTube video once.
But our friends at Saturday Neon have you covered.
Zach's about to get a phone call. Saturday Neon's gonna be like, yeah, about that one thing. Okay, but for real though, Saturday Neon signs are made with high quality materials and they're backed by a 2-year warranty. And it's the two friends, former college roommates, that created this company, and they make officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs. They're super awesome. They're really cool looking. They make your space look just kind of polished and put together.
It
Like
does.
if you were like Salt Bae, you want to put a little seasoning on your house or wherever your space is, get yourself some Saturday Neon signs. So go to SaturdayNeon.com, use code PHNX for 10% off your order today. Free shipping for orders over $200. I don't know how we kind of just like.
Do you ever know
Just
how we get where we
roll on.
get?
No. I just, that one specifically, I don't know how we just move on from it without having like a further discussion about it.
What
But I
wanna
also
know-
don't think we need to have a further discussion about
One
it.
thing, how did you not remember that was the song? That seems like a song you would
because
remember.
I learned how to do CPR to staying alive. So that's the song that I will always have in my head
Also,
for it.
Lindsay's brain does not work the way ours does. Like
That's
it's
probably
just-
good for her.
That's no, definitely. That's what keeps her innocent and us just awful.
Dirty.
That's why we're
Dirty mind.
that's why we're not in the top 8 list. I mean, that's just what
Today,
it is.
none of them.
I've been removed.
They've all
That's for
been
sure.
removed.
Oh,
Shane,
shit.
you can still be on my top 8. All right, let's talk about Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal was on the cover of Slam magazine. Looked really good in this magazine
He
cover
did.
here. We got to see him in his New Jersey, rocking that number 3.
Sick.
Looks good.
He looked so like these shots were just super dramatic feeling. Like he
Mhm.
was ready to go out there and just like rip your head off.
Yeah, because he is.
I
He gets to
know.
play for something now. He's like, I'm not in Washington playing for absolutely nothing. All right.
I'm really excited for him to be here. And there were a lot of great things within the article over at Slam. So if you have not checked it out, be sure to do so. But we're going to talk about a few of the quotes that came from that. The first one we're going to talk about is him on just kind of the trade in general. He said, quote, "Why are they trading Book? Like, there's no way that this is happening. Like, this can't be. This isn't right." When he first heard the news that the Suns were going to trade for him. And now this one is interesting because I feel like there's been a little bit of weird discourse about this on Twitter.
Mhm.
But I think this is kind of a natural first reaction if I'm Bradley Beal.
And I'm confused why we're having this reaction now, because he literally said something similar at his introductory presser weeks ago. Like his initial thought was, wait, are they trading Book? It wasn't necessarily like, I'm as good as Book, if not better, or anything like that. Like we're being traded straight up for each other. But it was more confusion over the fact that like money-wise, role-wise, position-wise, they're very similar. So it would
Yeah.
make sense that he would be confused. Like, wait, they're trading, the Suns are trading for me? So I feel like people are blowing it out of proportion.
I mean, we were all surprised all they gave up was CP3 and Landry Shamet. So
Right.
I'm sure he was in the same boat because you hear that and you go, okay, yeah, sure, I had the power because of the no trade clause, but I still would have assumed they negotiated something more than that. So I didn't take it in any bad way whatsoever.
No, I don't understand why you would. Like he's given. First of all, he has confidence in himself to feel like he's on the same level as Book. Which, to be honest, minus the injuries, he's not that far off. Like he's right there. I think that's a good correlation. And the second, he meant it like, I can't believe that this was all we would give up
Yeah.
for me. Like that's incredible. Like that's great because you figure you have to sacrifice something of value, and the Suns literally did not have to. I mean, Chris Paul is valuable. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, yeah. I like just calm down, people. Calm down. It's okay. He's a good player that thought another good player was going to get traded for him at the peak of their playing abilities. There's nothing wrong with thinking that.
Well, and he in the quote he admits this makes no sense. Why would they do that? Basically, so yeah,
It was an
I don't get it.
initial thought that went through his head, like
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's going on. Makes sense.
Right.
Again, an athlete being honest and
I
somehow
mean,
paying for it.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people getting shit on because they're just being honest.
Mhm.
Like it's okay.
I
It's
agree.
okay.
And I think, again, it's a very normal first reaction when
Yeah.
you hear the news. I think that it's okay to be open about what your initial reaction is. We literally ask that question all the time when a player gets moved. Like, where were you when you heard the news? What was your initial reaction? we ask that of players about other players too when they get moved. So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty normal. Anyway, I just felt like we should kind of have a little mini chit chat around that. Like, there's no drama. It's not weird. Let's not create something out of nothing. We're in a good spot.
He is the guy that said this is Book Nation, and I'm coming in it to join. So
yeah. All right. Next up, he did share some personal goals for this season. He said, getting back, I really believe that's who I am, all NBA guy, all-star guy, and I have a good group that can push me to be that every single day. So his personal goals for the season are to get back to that all-star level of play.
Yeah, I love this. And before, people were like, well, shouldn't you always play at that level and you should always push yourself? I think one of the things, like, again, like, such a small level, right? But it was kind of like in high school, like my sophomore year, I got to practice with the varsity all the way up until the game, the day before the first game, and then I went back down and I played JV, right? And that elevated my play so much because I wanted to match their intensity, and I was intense. There was no doubt about that, but they just knew different levels to the game at that point. And I think that's what Bradley Beal is. Listen, when you surround yourself with a bunch of inexperienced basketball players at the NBA level, you're bound to lose a little bit of something here and there. So the fact that you're going to be able to pick some of that back up in playing with KD and Book and anybody else, you got why can I not think of names right now? The 3-point shooter from the Clippers, Gordon. You got a lot of veterans around you that are solid basketball players, and they're going to be able to elevate you not only by a day-to-day intensity standpoint, but also just little nuances that you pick up from great players all the way. And make no mistake about it, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are great basketball players.
Also, him being on this squad with these guys takes the pressure way off of what he was asked to do in Washington. He can play more freely. He can have, honestly, probably a little more fun, knowing that he's not just going to be the guy every single night that is expected to will them to a win.
He's going to beast a lot of dudes.
It's going to be fun. And I'm sure he's going to have a blast playing with this team.
He was putting up numbers over in DC as the number one option on a team that didn't have a lot of threats around him to alleviate that pressure. Now he's like the third guy behind Book and KD. I think he's going to feast, because that was one of the biggest things we heard at the intro presser was when they were recruiting him and talking to him about what it would be like. I think it was Vogel that pointed out to him, or James Jones, when we played you, like, we were doubling you. We were sending doubles at you. Now imagine that you were the guy that's capitalizing on doubles for Book and KD. And he was like, wow, that sounds pretty great to me, actually. So he's talked a lot about being with players on that caliber, pushing each other. And he hasn't had that since Russell Westbrook, he said. So this is a whole new level in terms of he's never played on a team like this. And I think that's a reasonable goal, because he is a guy that just, 3 seasons ago, put up 31 points a game. Like, he's a talented scorer. He's a talented playmaker, underrated in that department. And I think we're going to get to see parts of his game shine that we haven't for the past couple seasons.
Yeah, and to expand a little bit on Saul's thought too, when you're playing for something, so in particular, when you've been a guy that hasn't for so long, that ups your motivation too. It's like, oh, all of a sudden, I got something more to play for here too. I'm not just trying to get my own here. And he's coming off of injury too, right? So I'm sure when you have a couple seasons with injury like that, you have to reassess what your own expectations are in those years, that, hey, maybe I can't go to that level right now because I'm not fully healthy. Well, guess what? He's fully healthy now. He's surrounded by this team. They're playing for a championship, which is not something he had done in Washington in years. Of course, he's going to think that his game as well will be elevated.
Yeah, excited to see it. Also, you two, I believe, did you get a Burrito Express this week? Saul, you missed Burrito Express delivery this week.
I might have missed it as well.
Oh, all right. So sad for both of you. Espo and I did not miss the Burrito
Leah
Express
left
delivery
one
this week.
in the fridge for me and put my name on it, so I had it today.
Oh,
you got looked out for. But I'm curious what
I didn't do that for either of you.
About the idea of a cold burrito, because Espo and I discussed this a little bit tomorrow. Eating a cold burrito.
No.
Are you
No.
Yes, no, maybe so.
No.
I mean, if it's Burrito Express, it doesn't really matter.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like I had the breakfast supreme burrito and I took it home with me after the show, and I didn't really feel like having a hot burrito, so I just ate it cold, and it honestly was really good. And I'm just saying, if you can have a burrito cold and it still is really good, it's a solid burrito to begin with. It's gotta be.
Did you use the Sean DePaz burrito holder in your car?
Actually, I really did. I put the burrito in my cup holder. I did.
Game changer.
I did. All I'm saying is Burrito Express burritos are super bomb, and you should grab a burrito and also give Burrito Express a follow on Twitter at BurritoEXP. You should also grab some Shady Rays before the summer ends. I mean, it's sunny in Phoenix literally year round, so you should just always have Shady Rays readily available, and you should probably have multiple pairs because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you feel like there's your basic sunglasses, and then other times you just want to spice it up with something else. You want to,
my 80s style
switch up the look.
sunglasses. Yeah.
You always have different colors on your glasses.
Yes,
So
I
you
do.
get it definitely of all the people here. And exclusively for everyone listening, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
Also, shout out Code in the chat for watching us at work. We appreciate you. Don't get fired, but we appreciate you.
Yes.
Just tell your boss to watch too. Why not?
Honestly, you really should tell your boss to
I
watch.
mean-
It should just be like a thing. Like you should just put our show on at 3 p.m. wherever you're working.
You should.
Just
And if you
convince your boss to build it into the day.
if you work at like a Best Buy, put it on all the computers too.
There you go.
Or you could just block out. Did you guys ever do this? Did you ever block out a meeting on your calendar where you're like, I just need a 30-minute break from everything?
Did I ever? I still do it now.
Damn.
I used to always, like, days after games, there would always be like a 30-minute block out where I was like, I'm just going to go sit by myself
Wait, so
for
you would
10 minutes.
you would put that on your own calendar? So
Yeah,
that
so
they
that
could see
nobody could schedule anything,
would
so
you
that I
call the
had it
meeting?
built
She
in.
blocked out half her day just to do that.
What would you call the meeting?
I don't know exactly. I don't remember what I called it, but it was just like busy.
Important meeting.
Busy. Unavailable during this time. Do not book anything.
Self
Please and thank
one-on-one.
you. Exactly. All right, let's continue with the Bradley Beal quotes from the Slam article. In this one, he was asked if the Suns already have a group chat, and he said, yes, we do have a group chat already, that it has been assembled, and that it started ASAP. I love that they had a group chat going right away, and also that the first message was from Devin Booker, and it was, let's go work out.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's basically all of Book's messages in their group text. You know, it's either I'm on vacation or let's go work out, because those seems like the two things, if you look at Devin Booker's Instagram, that he does. So,
Or it's like, hey, let's go on vacation and also work out while we're
yes.
there.
You sound like quotes from like Barbie or something. Let's go work out. I'm on vacation. No, like Book shared the Slam cover from Bradley Beal on his own Instagram. Like they're obviously building that chemistry up in the off season. It's pretty cool to see that. And we've talked about this before. They do seem like kindred spirits in terms of being hoopers. We keep using that term.
Mm-hmm.
They're like-minded individuals who love the work, who love to play basketball. And get along well off the court. And I think that fits in with the culture that the Suns are building here. Obviously, we've had a lot of questions about what it's going to look like without guys that help build it, like Monty, like Chris Paul. But I think as long as you have that, you're going to continue to attract star talent like Beal, like Gordon. He's not a star, but capable players will take less to come play here and be a part of that.
What do you think the group text is named? You know they gotta have a name
we asked
for it. Right?
Jock
Fellas.
last year, and Jock just said like players only, didn't he?
Yeah, he said it was something boring.
Yeah, I feel like it was players only,
Yeah.
which is super lame.
It's well, campaign was in it too, wasn't it?
Probably. I mean, I think that was for like the big team group chat. Like, are we talking about like just a group chat for them three? Or
Yeah,
like
for
the
them
whole team?
three. I think it should just be hated, right? Because that's
That's not what they call themselves, though.
But they.
Do they
KD
call
had said,
themselves something?
I'm saying KD had said that hate fuels him, so maybe that's play on that.
They should call themselves the non All Stars or Zero All Stars.
KBB. I don't know.
KBB works.
The
Or the
KGB.
Outlaws.
Kevin Book and
The
Beal.
Outlaws.
KBB.
I feel like I'm having a conversation with Gretchen Wieners. You and the Outlaws thing.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to make Outlaws happen.
I'm making a thing, damn it!
Fetch will never be a thing. Stop trying to make
On-
fetch.
On Wednesdays, we were pink. Sorry, I'm just
There you go. Now
quoting
you're
the
just
movie.
quoting it.
Bradley Beal also said when talking about this group chat and that first message being about going and working out that he's just really super excited about being around like-minded guys who want to push each other each and every day. And again, this just goes back to finally having guys who are on his same level as far as talent and drive go around him, where they're all, not to say that all NBA players are not working towards the same thing, but there's levels to it.
Gerald, how do you think it's going to feel when you finally get on a podcast where everybody's on your level?
What are you talking about?
Don't make Gerald uncomfortable.
Gerald's
Saul.
gonna have quotes like this when he leaves for a better podcast. He's like, I'm just glad to be playing for something that's worthy.
Stop.
We're all on the same page. We're all pushing to the same goal.
Stop.
Yeah, this group text is much better than that last one I was in.
Our last one was literally called Dickheads.
True story, though. On that.
Surprisingly enough, I did not name it.
I'm shocked by that.
Jared's like, finally, people I can talk advanced stats with. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We love you,
That
Jared.
was my favorite part of talking to Tom earlier when he was talking about the isolation page on NBA.com, and I knew exactly what he was talking about, and I
You're
started
like-
laughing, and you three were just like staring
You're
at
like,
him.
I can
what?
visualize the page in my mind
like-
right now. I'm there with
I
you.
was like, oh,
I knew what he was
I
talking
am
about.
the nerd.
I was just thinking the drop down and where would it be? Like,
Yeah.
We did get a super chat from Code. Code, thank you so much for your super chat. Said, I think I'm in an online relationship with one of Katie's female burner accounts.
Wow.
That's not good code.
Congratulations, Code.
Like, what kind of
What a time
clues
to be
are they
alive.
leaving that would
What
lead
a
you to
time
believe
to
that that's
be
one of
alive.
Katie's burner accounts?
Remember that one Lakers fan that turned out to be fake?
Yes.
Remember that day?
Yes.
What?
Is that,
It was a
like
huge
that
deal
type,
for a
type of
day.
situation? Yeah.
I
There
have
was
no
a
idea what you're
whole
talking about.
day
You have
where
to tell me.
everybody was talking about this Lakers fan, and she turned out to be completely fake. Like her photos were all photoshopped.
Yeah,
it wasn't
there's
really a woman, and she had been like co-hosting a podcast with like a Lakers guy for a while,
Yeah.
but he had like never seen her in person.
Yeah.
So he got like duped.
Wait,
It
you
was
got
a whole thing.
catfished for a
NBA
podcast?
Yeah, it
Yes.
was NBA catfishing. It
Yeah.
was unbelievable.
It was nuts.
Oh my god,
Wait,
that's
so
awesome.
it was, they were posing as a woman, but they were a man?
Well, I don't know
I
if
think
we
they
ever
made
learned
it-
the identity.
No, but I think it
But-
was they made up this the visual, everything about this person, fake
Mhm.
bio, like everything,
Yep.
and had a decent following too,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And then
Thousands
Yeah.
of followers.
it came out not a real person.
Low key, not mad at it. Like, kind of impressed, to be honest with you.
High key, very mad. Like,
What do you
It's
mean?
not-
Not mad at it.
You were able to dupe that many people all the way to the point of hosting a podcast with somebody and nobody knew? That's impressive.
I can't remember if
That takes
if the person
skill.
used a voice modulator or if they had someone like a friend or a
Yeah.
relative or someone do the talking for
Yeah.
them. I can't remember what it was, but
Listen,
it was
I'm
wild.
just saying, that's a lot of work. And clearly
For
it
what?
worked out for a very long time.
For a good troll. I mean, look, we're a year
Man,
away.
Will people go to those kind of lengths to
Anonymity?
troll?
Yes, obviously somebody did.
it was an immense day on Twitter.
Look, we're a year away from somebody having an AI version host a podcast and run a Twitter
That's-
account, and we're all going to fall for it. Like, it's coming.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking forward to that. But you could prepare with some Four Peaks beer, that's for sure.
Get drunk. AI's coming.
Exactly.
For
Exactly.
the
Get
end.
it?
You want to watch AI Espo talk to you about your favorite Four Peaks beer? Well, here you go.
There you go. I don't know what to tell you about AI, but I do know that Four Peaks does not use AI to create their beer. They do it, and it's fantastic. Handmade. We took a tour of the actual brewery.
Robots are taking all of our jobs.
Have you seen people
They
pour
took
into those
our
glasses?
jobs.
I love and appreciate the reference.
Thanks, Gerald.
I got you.
Four Peaks has beer for all the teams as well. They've got the D-backs official Rattle on Red Ale. They've got the Suns Brew. We absolutely love that. And of course, the delightful food down at the brewery. Make sure you give Four Peaks a follow on social at Four Peaks Brew and at Four Peaks Pub To keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery, you must be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask that you please drink responsibly. Also, if you have not downloaded the BetMGM app yet, you absolutely should. It's a lot of fun. They have a bunch of promotions going on over there right now, including the Swing for the Fences one. All you have to do is log in and opt in, and they're a blast. So if you have not signed up for BetMGM yet, sign up today using that bonus code
What are you waiting for?
PHNX. Yes. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, you place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses with BetMGM. Again, that code is PHNX. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona, 1-800-522-4700 Nevada, 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa, 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan, 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
Do you find it weird that the NBA version of AI, Allen Iverson, was the answer, but AI now is the biggest question we have? Deep thoughts with Espo. That's exactly the reaction I wanted. I was going for exactly this.
Oh, shit, man.
I broke you.
Womp.
I wasn't trying to be funny, just asking.
I do actually. Jay in the chat said, I remember when I got catfish. Sad face. I still have nightmares. Any of you guys ever been catfished?
No.
That might be too personal of a question to ask you on the spot like this, but I want to know now.
I mean, I don't know. It's like, I mean, I've gone out with like I went on a date with a girl that gave me a different picture than she actually was. So I felt like that was kind of catfishing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that counts.
Right? Does that count?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because she like was nothing like what the picture looked like. Yeah, okay. I got catfished once. That's cool.
Lindsay, I did.
That's why I know yours probably doesn't count. I don't think it. Yeah.
I've been married since before dating apps, so no, I wasn't catfished.
It would be more for you two. Gerald,
Yeah.
did you you ever get catfished?
It's pretty similar to Saul. I went on a date with a woman who her pictures were very edited compared to what she looked like in real life. So I was polite. I sat to the date, and then I went home and fumed in my car.
That is the most Gerald thing. I was very nice and kind, and then I went home.
Honestly, though, like, props to you for that. I feel like that's the best way to handle it. Just be polite and then go home, and then that's the end of it.
We didn't get apps or desserts. I'll say that, though.
And she paid. No.
All right, moving on to more Suns talk. Kevin Durant got candid about cannabis, and this was actually a really fun discussion. I enjoyed it.
You also, by the way, invested in a number of cannabis companies.
Yeah.
And I'm so curious about your decision to be public about that, and what I assume, does Adam Silver call you up and say?
No,
hey,
I actually called him and advocated for him to take marijuana off the banned substance list. I just felt like it was becoming a thing around the country, around the world, that it was, the stigma behind it wasn't as negative as it was before. It doesn't affect you in any negative way. So I just felt like it was.
And what did Adam tell you when you said this to him?
He agreed, and you see where we.
Well, now they've actually told players you can invest and you can smoke and everything else. I think.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, definitely. Marijuana is.
But you were a pioneer, if you will.
I wouldn't call myself a pioneer. Not at all. But
a public pioneer. How about that?
I wouldn't say that either. I just enjoy the plant. I mean, as simple as that. And
so what did you tell Adam? How did you persuade him?
Well, he smelled it when I walked in. So I didn't really have to say much. You know what I'm saying? He kind of understood where this was going. And then, I mean, it's the NBA, man. Everybody is like, I hate to be. Everybody does it, to be honest. It's like wine at this point.
Listen, I'm glad that he invests in cannabis, but the offer still stands, KD.
Oh, my goodness.
Or not. Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
What offer, Saul?
I think there's
what
an
are
offer.
we talking about?
There's an
It's
offer.
coming.
It's
The offer.
coming somewhere down the
offer
road.
is
Come on,
coming.
it's like wine. Like, tap dance.
Anyway.
a
Roll the
few
tape.
minutes later.
Bumba it's Kevin Durant. Let's go. Hey, Kevin Durant, if you come to the Phoenix Suns, my friend, you and I will have a fantastic time getting blazed here in the Valley, because I know you are very fond of the herb. And hey, our friends at OGs, Shane, camera, our friends at OGs, I got you. You can have a lifetime supply, that is not confirmed, of OGs. I promise you. And buddy, I will take them. And you know what? I'll take one right now. There you go. There's a whole bag of it right here.
Pass the Dutchie, right?
There you go.
Hey, look at
Have
this.
a good time.
Also, OG's totally confirmed it too. They said he could have a lifetime supply.
They did.
I mean, come on.
We got to make this happen.
My favorite part about this was Katie was just like, when the guy was like, well, what did Adam say, or how did you tell him? And he was just like, listen, I just basically wasn't hiding it anymore. It is what it is.
I walked in and he smelled it.
Right.
Like you're either cool with it or you're not, but you should be.
He was speechless. He got hotboxed.
I would love to. I just like to imagine that they agreed on this and then they got high together. Could you imagine Adam Silver and Kevin Durant high together? I think that would be
No.
entertaining as shit.
I absolutely could not
Not even a little
imagine
bit.
that. I genuinely, it could go so many different ways.
Yeah.
It really could.
Did you ever see his interview with Kevin Durant's interview with David Letterman, where he admits he's totally high off his ass when he starts the interview with him? I
That's
thought
funny.
it's spectacular.
I mean, he said it's like wine. Everyone does it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he obviously enjoys partaking in the plant in all of its ways, I'm sure.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
I support it.
Like, he's been playing at a high level. Like,
Pun intended.
I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. I don't know. It's hard. You always want to put yourself in their shoes. I played with a guy one time that was blazed as fuck before a college basketball game. And we got on the court and I was like, this dude ain't doing shit out here. But I've also played with other dudes that were playing at a higher level. Like, they were just much better. For me, it slows everything down. I feel like a conversation takes like 6 hours when I'm high.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if it slows everything down for KD in the game, because that's a significant advantage. He's probably just catching the ball and like, oh, look at this shit. Bucket.
Wait, did you just say a conversation actually takes 6 hours, or it feels like it takes 6 hours?
Feels.
Okay. I just needed to be sure, because holy hell, that is a
No.
long conversation.
You think I'm listening to a 6-hour conversation high?
That's what I'm confused by. I
no.
needed to clarify, because I'm like, Saul, I can't keep your attention for 6 minutes
No,
sometimes.
because like right now, it feels like you've been yelling at me for like 15 minutes.
I literally
How
am not
high
even
are you?
yelling.
I love this. Like, I love the assumption that, like, oh, guys weren't high before. Like, you can't tell me that Sean Marion wasn't high 2/3 of the time he was here in Phoenix. Like, you listen to some of his interviews, you're like, yeah, every answer was like, yeah, shit. Like, that was like Sean Marion's crutch in an interview. I'm like, yeah, I think we all know that this was not some thing that wasn't happening in the NBA or around culture in general.
So here's a little nugget. My dad actually used to get high with Dennis Johnson all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he
That's
played for
so
the Suns.
random.
I know. When he played for the Phoenix Suns, they would get blazed day of game, and then he'd go play. And nobody ever gave a shit then.
No.
Nobody ever gave a shit now.
Well,
Well,
was because
one person did.
that was because they were doing cocaine as well back then. So.
Probably true. Probably true.
Yeah. I'm just glad this isn't David Stern's NBA anymore, because it was one of the worst kept secrets in the league back then,
Yeah.
and remained that way for a while. And I'm glad that they're able to just have conversations about it
Be
and it
honest.
not be a banned substance, and understand what it does for these players, especially during the pandemic and everything.
Well,
And just like the amount of pain relieving type of medications that are given out to professional athletes, that are oftentimes very bad for you
Yes.
and very addicting,
Mhm.
and can cause, like, we've heard numerous former athletes discuss that, right? This is another option that they can take.
Yeah.
And again, it's an option. It's not like you're being offered something or told that you have to partake in something, but it is an option that's available to them, and they should have the ability to choose.
Which is, ironically enough, some of the pain regimens that teams used to do were basically forced on you.
Yes.
You're getting an injection before this game so you can go out there and play. So.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I think I'm all for it. I'm all for, players being able to safely and responsibly, do what they need to do to get day to day.
Yeah.
These games are so stressful. These lives can be stressful, and I know we like to think that as soon as the game's over, they just go hop into their mansion or their, Lambo or their yacht or whatever, but it's not like that all the time. And sometimes, they take these games to heart. They're upset about the way they play, or maybe they've been on a cold streak for a week or two, or coach is getting on their ass, or they got all these obligations that they got to meet. It's just a lot of stress and pressure. And if they can alleviate it by, smoking some weed, fuck, go for it, dude.
Yeah, I'm all for it as long as you don't allegedly Josh Jackson it. It's good.
And with that, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. You can follow the show. Shane, mute their mics. You can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, I swear to God, don't ruin this.
Just remember, if you don't show up at an obligation for work, James Jones will go buy everybody beer. Ahoy, hoy.
PHNX though, Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B. Always on the job, my team move like the mob. Turn the beat on, I throw it down like DA on the lot. Best combo since KJ.